Hey, what's up YouTube? You already know it's All City Live TV, and thank you for tuning in. This is the second part of a 4-part series on where we cover every single badge. We go through every badge and find out whether these badges are overpowered, underrated, or completely useless in NBA 2K20 after patch 8. Now I know a lot of you guys have had trouble with badges. You're rearranging badges, you're unequipping and equipping these badges, and you're like, man, I don't know what's going on. Sometimes it feels like you're at the mercy of the 2K devs and how they set the particular sliders. That's what we're going to cover. We're going to go through each badge from my extensive experience. I'm going to give you guys my opinion. I play this game day in and day out, so we live stream every single day for hours on end. So from my extensive experience on how I utilize these badges, and from what I see my teammates use, and also watching how other players play with these particular badges. I'm going to take this out of here right quick, but from this amount of experience, I'm going to give you my educated thoughts on whether or not these badges are overpowered, underrated, or completely useless. And what I'm also going to do is put some timestamps below in the description so that it can be easier for you guys to get to the badge that you're most curious about. So we're going to jump right into it. Hopefully I didn't miss anything there, but we're going to jump right into it, and we're going to start off. If you guys don't know, yesterday I did a video on the finishing badges, and today we're going to cover the defensive badges. So I'm going to jump right into it so we're not wasting too much time here. And the first badge on the list is the box badge. Again, when we're covering these defensive badges, I have this gameplay in the background. Is the same gameplay I had in yesterday's video, but it should help with understanding these defensive badges, because you see what my player is doing offensively. So if you see that he's doing this on offense, then you may consider, oh, maybe I need this particular badge to stop that type of gameplay. These are some of the things that you might want to consider when you're looking at the gameplay in the background. The first badge on the list is the box badge. I want to make sure my mic is right, everything is good to go. All right, so please leave your comments in the comment section below so we can create some dialogue. I'm just giving my opinion on these badges from my experience, but if you have a different experience, or if you have a different type of player, I'm sure it could help me for future content, which I may highlight some of you guys' comments, and it could help other people that go into the comment section and may want to find, like, if they don't agree with my opinion, they may agree with yours. So the first badge on the list is box. We're going to go through these quickly. Overpowered, underrated, or completely useless. And I think it depends on what type of build you have out there. If you have a 611, like let's say you have one of my, I have a 611 99 glass cleaning lock. If you have a 611 sensor or power forward, then you may want to consider equipping the box badge, because you're a smaller sensor, and the box badge was made to counter the worm badge, or people worming around you to grab a board. So you may want to consider it from that aspect. But if you're a 7-3 center and you know how to box out well, your strength is up, then box might be completely useless for you. So you guys let me know how box has worked out for you. But on my 611, I always had it equipped on gold. The next badge on the list is the brick wall badge. Man, brick wall has been a roller coaster this year. I'm sure a lot of you guys can agree. People were calling for it to be nerfed. People were calling for it to be buffed. From my extensive experience playing and getting my glass cleaning lockdown to a 99, it was a nightmare and roller coaster of emotions with setting screens. One day you're setting screens properly, next day they're blowing right through your screens. I don't know if you guys are still experiencing that, but what I can say about brick wall is that it's at the mercy of the 2K devs. If they want, and how they set the sliders, if they want to boost shooting, then they'll nerf brick wall for that particular day or week. Or if you're on a low latency, high latency core, you're just at the mercy of the devs. So what I say, if you're considering equipping the brick wall badge, is go out there, test out, put it to like maybe silver or something like that. See if your brick walls are even responding. If they're not responding, then lower it or take it off. There's no reason to have a badge equipped that's ineffective. So put it to the test first, run a test on it, and that particular day, see if the devs allowed brick wall to work on that particular day, and make your decision by how it's working for that particular day. I know as a point guard, I don't like getting hit with vacuum screens. It's one of the most annoying things, but the way in which we play defense is we play sides, or a man switch, so we don't necessarily worry too much about brick wall screens. So that's something that you guys may want to consider also, is what type of defense are you going up against. If you're unable to set screens and you're just standing there like a goofball, then you may not want to have brick wall equipped. It may be one of those badges that would be a waste for you to equip. So again, know the defense that know the defense that you're playing against, how they're playing defense, and find out whether or not you should equip brick wall. But I will say that the vacuum screens are highly annoying. The next badge on the list, we're going to try to get through these quick, is the Chase Down Artist badge. Chase Down Artist is one of my favorite badges in NBA 2K20, and I think Chase Down Artist badge, when you're considering equipping the Chase Down Artist badge, you have to consider what type of player you're equipping it on. If you're a 7-3 player out there, Chase Down Artist might not be effective for you, because I think it's more tied into your speed and acceleration. If you're unable to build up that momentum to activate the chase down block animation, then the badge won't be as effective for you. But I will say, on my two-way slashing playmaker at 6'5", I've gotten more blocks with this player than I've ever gotten with my 6'11", 99 glass cleaning lockdown. And that goes to show you what I'm talking about with building up momentum and using your acceleration to activate the chase down animation. Well, that's what I feel. Whether it's overpowered, underrated, or completely useless depends on the type of build you're using it on. The next badge on the list is Clamps. Is Clamps overpowered, underrated, or completely useless after patch 8 on NBA 2K20? Clamps, as you guys can see, I'm gonna move this over so it's not just sitting there. Right now we're on the Clamps badge, as you guys can see right below me. We're on the Clamps badge, and I have this badge equipped on Hall of Fame. It's one of my favorite badges to equip, and I have, again, this is another badge that's it depends what type of player you have it equipped on. I tried this badge, equipped on Hall of Fame for my 6'11" glass cleaning lockdown, and it was not nearly as effective as it is on my two-way slashing playmaker. And I think the reason that is because it seems to me that Clamps is more of a perimeter defense type of badge, and I like to lock in on the ball handler. Whenever I'm in the vicinity, I want my player to kind of lock in on him, and being that I want that animation, Clamps is what helps to get me that animation. Just kind of you kind of magnetize to the ball handler, and that's what I want. That's why I have Clamps on Hall of Fame. So in my opinion, the Clamps badge is overpowered and may be even underrated, as I don't know how many people are equipping the Clamps badge on Hall of Fame. Who knows? But if you enjoy the Clamps badge or you find it completely useless, let us know in the comment section below. But I currently have it on Hall of Fame. Since I put it on Hall of Fame, I've never even changed it off of Hall of Fame. I always have it equipped on my two-way slashing playmaker, but I don't think it's as effective on a big man. Next badge on the list is Defensive Leader. Defensive Leader is for higher end competition. It's one of those must-have badges if you're playing a highly competitive game and you have an opportunity. If you have enough badges to distribute to get that Defensive Leader badge, then you may want to have that badge equipped, because It's one of those badges that'll help your teammates on defense. This is what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to help your teammates on defense, and it allows you to see the shot percentage or open percentage of your opponents on the floor. So if you have good communication skills out there with your teammates, then you could kind of let them know, hey, you got to guard this player because even with that contested shot, he shot at this percentage or whatnot. So, defensive leader is definitely a must-have badge for higher level competition or competitive games. On a day-to-day basis, completely useless for me. I don't necessarily need to equip the defensive leader badge. We're running park or things of that nature, and also on a day-to-day basis, you're at the mercy of the 2K sliders and what they, whether they want to boost defense or boost offense for that particular day. And I know the devs won't agree with me saying this, but yeah, it's noticeable. You guys boost the sliders and lower sliders on a day-to-day basis because we're confused out here. One day we're playing the most intense Kawhi Leonard type of defense, and then the next day we're looking real goofy out there and we're sliding all over the place. So defensive leader, it really depends on what's going on that particular day, but for high-end competition, must have. The next one on the list is Heart Crusher, and all I can say about Heart Crusher is a no. It's a definite no. Heart Crusher is supposed to, people don't really necessarily know what Heart Crusher does, but whenever you perform a highlight play, it's supposed to take away from your opponent's takeover meter. And I don't even think, takeovers activate as often as they should. So I don't see a lot of takeover meters being activated out there. It's not a high concern of mine. So if it's already difficult to activate the takeover meter for our opponents, then why do you need a badge to kind of take away from that? So in my opinion, completely useless. Let me move this over so again we know we're on the same page here. Also, we have the timestamps. Don't forget, guys, if you want to skip forward or get to a different badge that you're more interested in, the timestamps will be below. Give me some time on setting those up. It takes a little while to set up those timestamps, but hopefully I have it upon the release of this video. So Heart Crusher is a definite no, but the next badge on the list is the Interceptor badge. So what do you guys think about the Interceptor badge? Is it overpowered, underrated, or completely useless? A lot of people say that you have to have Interceptor at least equipped on silver, and some people say that the passing lanes or passing lane steals are OP. People are always getting passing lane steals. What I can say from equipping Interceptor on Hall of Fame to bronze and not having it equipped at all, on a 6'11" glass cleaning lockdown, which I got him to 99, and also on my two-way slashing playmaker, which is a 97 right now, Interceptor is at the mercy of the 2K devs and how they set up your defense for a particular day. So if you come out there and you want to decide whether or not you want to equip the Interceptor badge, then go out there, play a game, see if your defense is responsive on that particular day, and if it is responsive, you see that it's highly responsive, then go on and up that Interceptor badge to Hall of Fame, and you might get way more passing lane steals. But being that this badge is at the mercy of how the 2K devs set the sliders, then like for me, I have Interceptor equipped on bronze, and that's where I leave it. I may up it to silver every now and then, but bronze is where it normally stays at, just so I can unlock the passing lane steal animation. And also, you may want to consider when equipping the Interceptor badge is that the badge unlocks these passing lane steals animations, and if you mash that box button in the passing lane, it may throw your defender out of position on defense. So it's definitely something that you want to use with high discretion. You want to use it cautiously when you're trying to mash those passing lane steals. So overpowered, underrated, or completely useless, you can't really say either for the Interceptor badge. One day is overpowered, next day is underrated. It's just really confusing because you're at the mercy of how the 2K devs set up the sliders on any particular day. So This is my opinion from my extensive experience playing NBA 2K20, watching how other players play, watching our opponents and how they play and how they get into passing lanes. That's my opinion on it. Hey, we just got another sub. Appreciate it, y'all. Shout out to y'all. All right, the next one on the list is the Intimidator badge. Man, oh man. I'm sure a lot of you guys have a lot to say about the Intimidator badge. The Intimidator badge varies from day to day. One day is extremely overpowered. They're missing everything whenever you're in the vicinity. And the next day is completely useless. But it does vary from build to build. So for my build, I find it well, it's hard to say because the glass cleaning lockdown, the 99 glass cleaning lockdown, would sometimes when you're going up against, say, playing against two centers, people trying to run the 2-center cheese on you, Interceptor could come in handy. But then, you know, one of those days, you just never know how the 2K devs set up the sliders, and you're just not getting no defensive contests out there, or, you know, they're just hitting really highly contested shots or laying the ball up right in your grill, and you're like, what in the world? Intimidator is completely useless. So it's just one of those badges, multiple personality type of badges, where you just never know what it's gonna do for your player. So what I say is I'll just equip it on bronze. You know, it's because, you know, when it works it can be highly effective, so I leave it at bronze. Let me know what you guys think about Intimidator. I know a lot of people love the badge, a lot of people find it completely useless. So those are my thoughts on the Intimidator badge. Next badge on the list is the Lightning Reflexes badge. Lightning Reflexes, a lot of you guys don't know about the Lightning Reflexes badge, and what it's supposed to do is give you an earlier cue on the read and react system that 2K20 incorporated into the defense this year. So what it does is gives you a little arrow telling you which way to kind of position your player. Basically kind of guesses which way your opponent is going to go. And the reason why I thought it was highly effective, it's one of my highest viewed videos on the channel, you could go check it out. The reason why I thought it was effective is because any description that says it gives you an earlier cue kind of told me that 2K is going to kind of position your player. You know how you get those animations where 2K kind of just takes control of your player? So for instance, with Lightning Reflexes, 2K takes control of your player, but it's more beneficial for you because it'll move your player into the position of where the ball handler is gonna, you know, more than likely go. So it'll move you into a better position on defense. So that's why I like the Lightning Reflexes badge. Let me move this over. Yeah, we're on Lightning Reflexes here. So whether it's overpowered, underrated, or completely useless, again, and I can't stress this enough, being that these sliders are getting remixed every day, you never know. So you can't say that, you know, Lightning Reflexes is super overpowered. Something that's overpowered, it has, in my opinion, is consistent. And if it's not consistent, I can't label it overpowered. Like clamps, I label clamps overpowered because without the badge is such a giant difference that it's always consistent in its effectiveness. It may not be as effective from one day to the next, but it is always consistent in that the badge is going to be effective. So Lightning Reflexes is one of those badges that one day it's completely ineffective, and then the next day you see that it has some level of effectiveness. So I keep the badge equipped at bronze, and whether it's overpowered, underrated, or completely useless is a matter of personal preference and the type of player that you're using it on. The next badge on the list is Moving Truck. Now I ran an extensive test on the Moving Truck badge. Let me try to get into a more comfortable position here, so I'm not looking like I'm stressed trying to make these. Although it is a long video, I don't want to look stressed making this video because I really enjoy making this type of content for you guys and reviewing these badges, creating dialogue, watching or hearing about what everybody else thinks about these badges. But excuse me, the next badge on the list is Moving Truck. And in that video that I made we put moving truck to the test against one of the most elite centers that we know. He's a cheesy center, so he knows all of the post moves, and I have a video about that on my channel. It's really a lit video. You guys might want to check that out. But I tested moving truck and post move lockdown against one of the most elite centers out there. And just to kind of explain what the, let me get in position here, just to kind of explain what the moving truck does for you guys. What does it do? Like, what animation does it give you guys? Whenever someone hits, if they're going into the post and they hit that L2 button, your player will dump his entire weight onto his opponent. So whenever they hit that L2, you as a defender will go and you'll just dump your weight onto, that's what moving truck does. That's the animation that moving truck does for you as a defender out there. And what this means is that if you dump your entire weight onto the defender, then you increase your chances that your opponent will have the pick up the ball animation. So they either fumble or they'll pick up the rock type of animation. And what that does for you and your teammates is that if you get a big man out there and he's going into the post and you dump your weight on him, he picks up the rock, then he's in a bad position. If he has the ball picked up and he's not completely in the low post, he's in a bad position. He has to pass out. That increases you and your teammates' chances of getting a passing lane steal, or a steal for that matter, any type of steal for that matter, a turnover. So moving truck, to label it overpowered, I can't necessarily say that it's overpowered. Maybe underrated. Maybe we'll label moving truck underrated, in that any badge that helps you get your opponent to pick up the rock is a beneficial badge to equip on NBA 2K20. Next badge on the list is off-ball PEST. I want to make sure everything's operating properly. All right, good. Off-ball PEST. I ran a ton of tests. I did a ton of tests on a bunch of these badges. If you guys are curious to see the badge videos that I have a ton of them. It's something like 50 videos on badges. So you know, I try and do my best to learn as much as I can about these badges, and I ran a ton of tests on off-ball PEST, and I couldn't find the effectiveness of off-ball PEST. You know, the idea of wasting badge points on a badge like off-ball PEST, where you cannot see a noticeable difference in your gameplay. You know, you put on clamps, noticeable difference in gameplay. Put on off-ball PEST, not as noticeable. So in my opinion, and I know a lot of people may disagree with me on this, and if you do, please leave your comment in the comment section below, so that way you could educate some other people on your experience using off-ball PEST. But in my opinion, off-ball PEST completely useless, and I wouldn't waste badge points equipping off-ball PEST. The next badge on the list is Pick Dodger Roller Coaster. When I say roller coaster, just like with BRICKWALL, a roller coaster out there. You never know. One patch to the next, one game to the next. You just never know what you're gonna get. You may have Pick Dodger equipped on Hall of Fame. Let me go down to make sure that I'm on the right one with you guys. I think we're up here. So Pick Dodger, you may have it equipped on Hall of Fame and get hit with vacuum screens. And I'm sure you're thinking, well, if I have Pick Dodger on Hall of Fame, why am I getting hit with vacuum screens? So Pick Dodger is one of those badges where if you play defense, if you play team-oriented type of defense, then Pick Dodger is completely useless. If you're playing man switch or you're playing a zone type of defense, why do you have Pick Dodger equipped? Why are you wasting badges on Pick Dodger? I have never equipped Pick Dodger on my player, and that's because we play a particular type of defensive style, and we're defensive minded. We're defense-oriented, defense first type of teams out there. This is our gameplay, and if you play this type of man switch or zone defense, then Pick Dodger would be completely useless. Or maybe you just want to put it on a lower level, but wasting 4 badge points on the Pick Dodger badge and still getting hit with a vacuum screen at any percentage. If you get hit once, maybe not any percentage, if you get hit, let's say 30% with vacuum screens, and I'd say that's probably my percentage with never even equipping the badge. So take that into consideration, and that should help you decide whether or not Pick Dodger is, you know, overpowered, underrated, or completely useless out there. The next badge on the list, and one of my new favorite badges in NBA 2K20, is Pickpocket. Now, it took me a while to equip the Pickpocket badge. I was highly reluctant, but until I started noticing that my defense was lacking, and saying, well, one day it was locking, next day it wasn't locking in, so this got to be something wrong. So I said, well, let me put this Pickpocket badge up the Hall of Fame and see what we get. Pickpocket on Hall of Fame with clamps on Hall of Fame. Now, when people equip the Pickpocket badge, they immediately think that they should get a ton more steals, and that's not the case with Pickpocket. What I like about Pickpocket is that it allows you just to play defense a little better. So, for instance, Pickpocket mixed with clamps allows me to stay more locked in on my player, and it's noticeable. It was a noticeable difference for me. Not so much so where you're able to kind of swipe and steal the rock, but you are able to stay in front of your defender, and very often with the badge equipped on Hall of Fame, very often I've noticed that I stay in front of him because maybe clamps is on, so I stay in front of him and he'll try and do a crossover. Let me rewind that again. The ball handler will attempt to do a crossover, and in that crossover animation, you okay? Okay, relax. And in that crossover animation, I would get a steal, and it was an automatic steal animation because I didn't hit box or spam or hit my analog stick to go for a steal. So that's what I like about the clamps badge. So in my opinion, overpowered, underrated, or completely useless. I recommend it. If you see it, I have it equipped on Hall of Fame, then I consider it an overpowered badge, and that's one of my favorite badges to equip on NBA 2K20 as far as defensive badges go. The next badge on the list is Pogo Stick. Pogo Stick is, from my opinion, more beneficial for interior players. So if you're interior type of defending type of player, or if you're a big man that's just playing in the paint on defense, being that I more so guard the perimeter with this two-way slashing playmaker, I don't have it equipped here, as you guys can see, but on my glass cleaning lockdown, it would not ever not be equipped. I always have Pogo Stick equipped because it's a highly effective badge, and in my opinion, whether it's overpowered, underrated, or completely useless, I'd have to say Pogo Stick is overpowered. One of those badges where you notice the effectiveness of equipping this badge ASAP, and it works well with rim protector, it works well with rebound chaser, so it works in all these scenarios on whether you're trying to get a putback, you're trying to grab a rebound, or you're trying to get a block animation. Pogo Stick will work well, so I highly recommend the Pogo Stick badge. The next badge on the list is Post Move Lockdown, and Post Move Lockdown, man, like I said, I ran tests with the moving truck badge, and I could say I recommend, not highly, but I recommend, if you're gonna consider equipping Post Move Lockdown or Moving Truck, go with Moving Truck, because Post Move Lockdown seems to activate for absolutely no reason. Just because they go into the post and they hit a post move, whether it's a drop step, post spin, whatever, Post Move Lockdown would activate. Whether it changes what you like, whether it helps you in your abilities to defend the post move, I haven't. It just didn't seem effective. That's what I would say. It didn't seem as effective as it should be. Although it does activate, you'll see it actually pop up. The effectiveness of it, or him getting through the post move, it just didn't seem to matter. We played against one of the cheesiest elite post move type of centers, and he was still getting the post moves to activate on his part, but my defense was only due to me, moving my player on defense, or having a higher defensive IQ out there to guard post moves. I don't think Post Move Lockdown was effective enough. So in my opinion, overpowered, underrated, or completely useless, in my opinion, I wouldn't ever equip Post Move Lockdown or waste badges equipping that, unless you have 30 badges to spread around, and maybe you may want to equip Post Move Lockdown. But considering that post moves are broken in NBA 2K20, they take too much time, I wouldn't consider equipping post move lockdown. So let's get on to the next one. Rebound Chaser. Rebound Chaser is an absolute must. I don't have it on this player because this player is a 6'5" two-way slashing playmaker. But if you're a big man out there, let me go down because I think we're on. I think we're here. I could be mistaken, but I think that's where it's at. Yeah. So Rebound Chaser. It's an absolute must. Only to, at the very least, unlock the Rebound Chaser animation. So understand that a lot of these badges have animations tied into it, and if you limit yourself by not equipping it at all, then you won't even get animations that are actually tied into these badges. So Rebound Chaser has some chase animations. When a ball comes off the rim, your player will go into an animation because you have the badge equipped. So don't think because you have a high rebounding attribute that you can go without Rebound Chaser. At least consider equipping the badge on bronze at the very least, even if you have a high attribute rating, just so you can unlock the Rebound Chaser animations and grab some more boards out there. So overpowered, underrated, or completely useless, I would probably say you can't really decide on whether, like, it's not underrated because I think people highly regard Rebound Chaser. I think any rebounder knows to equip Rebound Chaser. Overpowered, can't say it's necessarily overpowered unless you have a build, that's like a lockdown build or a two-way finisher. It may be overpowered for your build, which would normally not grab as many boards. So some people may consider it overpowered from that aspect, but it's definitely not a completely useless badge. That's one thing that you can't say, that Rebound Chaser is not completely useless. The next badge on the list is Rim Protector. Oh man, what do you guys think about Rim Protector? I keep stressing this for a ton of badges because again, 99 glass cleaning lock. My block was like a 99 also. I'm pretty sure my block was at a 99 also, or somewhere between 95 and 99. I know that much. But Rim Protector, man, you just never know who 2K is trying to accommodate. One day they may accommodate you, but Rim Protector is one of those badges that I will go up and down with. I'll have it equipped on Hall of Fame for a couple weeks, lower it down to bronze to see if there's any difference, and I went so far as to unequipping the Rebound Chaser badge, and I think it was just a matter of my particular build, and paint defense in general is broken. Paint defense is broken, period, point blank. Paint defense in NBA, and we're gonna make a video about paint defense because paint defense is so frustrating. You have these badges equipped on Hall of Fame. Imagine having Intimidator, Pogo Stick, Rim Protector equipped on Hall of Fame, and imagine someone just laying the ball up in your grill and you can't contest it with Rim Protector on Hall of Fame. It'll almost drive you crazy out there. So you can't count out Rim Protector as completely useless. You can't count it out as underrated because everybody wants to equip the Rim Protector badge. But the only problem, and you definitely can't count it as overpowered because it's not consistent enough to be overpowered. So it's just one of those things. You're at the mercy of 2K and what they're doing to your defense on any particular day, how they're remixing the sliders that particular day. The next badge on the list is Tireless Defender. Now, do you guys know Tireless Defender? There's a stamina based type of game because a lot of animations are tied into the amount of energy that you have to exert as well. If you guys don't know, if you have a low amount of energy, like you won't even get some dribble animations, or you won't be able to finish at the rack, things like this. They're tied into your stamina. So any badge that helps with your stamina or maintaining your energy bar is a badge worth equipping. Now, as you guys can see, I went from equipping Tireless Defender on Hall of Fame to dropping it down to bronze so I can distribute those other 3 badges amongst some other badges there. But if I had, let's say I had 30 defensive badges, my Tireless Defender would be equipped on Hall of Fame hands down, because any badge that helps with your stamina is definitely a badge worth equipping, and Tireless Defender will help with how much energy you exert when you're playing defense, or aggressive defense for that matter. So definitely a badge you want to consider equipping in NBA 2K20 where you're playing defense out there. The Trapper badge, another badge I ran extensive tests on, and it seems to me, from what I've noticed with the Trapper badge, and I'm sure a lot of you guys would agree, and a lot of people left comments on the video I had posted about the Trapper badge. Trapper, the reason why in my opinion is completely useless is because these badges are supposed to work for your player. They're not supposed, you know, in my opinion, if I'm equipping Trapper, I shouldn't have to guess if, let me break this down for you. Trapper is supposed to work more effectively when both people trying to trap the ball or create a trap, or box a ball handler in. Both people have to have the Trapper badge equipped for it to, you know, be most effective. If you're the only person with the Trapper badge, you're not getting any different animations. And I went through slow motion and like, you guys got to see that video that I made about the Trapper badge, because I put it in slow motion and tried to see when the Trapper badge activated, and it was so odd. So it was so inconsistent. Yeah, definitely one of those badges that I'd say are completely useless. And if you do consider, all right, me and another homie's gonna put on the Trapper badge, then it may be, you know, I wouldn't count it as overpowered, but it may be underrated. That's what we'll leave it at. In my opinion, it can be underrated, but I would count it as completely useless. I wouldn't ever considering with the amount of badge points that I have, I wouldn't ever consider equipping the Trapper badge. The next badge on the list is the Worm badge. What do you guys think about the Worm badge? Worm, man, it's such a great concept, right? If someone if they're not boxing out properly, or they don't have the box badge, then I should be able to take advantage with my Worm badge on Hall of Fame and just push that defender out the way, or push the person who's boxing me out the way, and worm around him. But unfortunately, and just like it with post moves in NBA 2K20, it takes so long. And although you may look like you're stronger out there, the animation takes so long. So you're stuck so long in a worm animation trying to get around the box out, that the ball done dropped, someone else got the rebound, and now, you know, they get an opportunity for a second chance point or something like that. So Worm, in my opinion, is completely useless. Wouldn't ever equip it, only because 2K didn't invest enough into the animation or make it effective enough for you guys. Whether you equip it on bronze to Hall of Fame, you're gonna get stuck in the same long-winded animation that seems to put your team at more of a disadvantage than any type of benefit you receive out of the Worm badge. So that's every badge, every defensive badge we just went through. Yeah, we just went through Worm. So that's every defensive badge that we just went through. Please, you guys, leave your thoughts on these badges so we can create this dialogue and get this ball rolling. Help me out for future content, help some of the other subscribers or viewers out with your feedback, because your feedback can help them out, especially if it's different from mine, or if you're in complete agreement with what I'm saying. It may help someone say, well, all right, I'll give that a try because he said that as well. So these are things to consider. The 2K community has been great this year in creating dialogue and learning, feeding off each other, things like that. So if we could keep that going, especially here at All City Live TV, you know how we like to do these badge videos and get real informative about badge, like what badges do for your player. I just find it to be, you know, a beautiful thing to see this type of thing taking place, especially with the state of NBA 2K20. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget, please, to consider subscribing to our channel and hitting that like button, because it'll help us out a great deal and keep this content rolling. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider subscribing to our channel, as we're gonna have a ton of NBA 2K20 content coming your way. And if you want to stay connected with me and the All City Live TV community, then join us on Twitch and Discord. The links will be in the description below. Easy, y'all.